On a cold Tokyo morning in March 2025, the digital world collided with brutal reality in the most horrifying way imaginable. As thousands of viewers tuned in to watch their favorite influencers' daily broadcast, they became unwilling witnesses to a chilling murder that would shake Japan's online community to its core. The victim, 22-year-old Moami Ai, known to her followers as Irasato, was live streaming her morning walk through Tokyo's bustling Takadano Baba neighborhood when terror struck. What began as an ordinary day for the vibrant young content creator quickly transformed into a nightmare scenario that would leave an indelible mark on the world of social media. Through the lens of her smartphone camera, viewers watched in real time as a man emerged from the shadows, gripping a survival knife with deadly intent. The attack unfolded so swiftly that many initially thought it was part of an elaborate prank, until the horrifying reality became undeniable. This wasn't just another influencer's daily vlog, it was a live-streamed tragedy that exposed the dark underbelly of online fame and the dangerous obsessions it can breed. The suspect, later identified as 42-year-old Kenichi Takano, had been watching Airi's streams for months, gradually crossing the line from devoted fan to something far more sinister. His presence at the scene wasn't coincidence. He had meticulously planned his approach using the very live stream technology that was supposed to connect and entertain. As we delve deeper into this harrowing story, we'll explore how a seemingly innocent online connection spiraled into unimaginable violence. But first, let's understand who Irasato was. Not just the cheerful influencer her followers adored, but the ambitious young woman behind the screen whose dreams were tragically cut short during what should have been just another routine broadcast. The rising star. Behind the screen, Irasato, known to her growing legion of followers as Moami Ai, was more than just another face in the crowded world of social media influencers. At 22 years old, she had cultivated a unique online persona that resonated deeply with her audience. A carefully crafted blend of authenticity and positivity that made each follower feel personally connected. Her Instagram feed was a vibrant mosaic of Tokyo life, featuring everything from serene cherry blossom views to intimate glimpses of her daily routines. On streaming platforms, she shared her thoughts, dreams, and struggles with remarkable candor, creating a virtual space where thousands found comfort and inspiration. The success of her online presence extended beyond mere popularity metrics. While she hadn't yet reached mega influencer status with millions of followers, her engagement rates were extraordinary. Nearly 7,000 dedicated viewers regularly tuned in to her live streams, interacting with her in real time and forming what felt like genuine connections. These weren't passive followers, they were active participants in a community that Air had nurtured with care and consistency. Her ability to make each viewer feel seen and heard was particularly remarkable given Japan's traditionally reserved social culture. Financially, Airi's career was at a crucial juncture. Like many influencers, she supplemented her income through a combination of brand sponsorships, paid collaborations, and direct support from her fans. This last source of revenue, while significant, would prove to be both a blessing and a curse. Her monthly earnings fluctuated between 300,000 to 500,000 yen, enough to sustain her modest lifestyle in Tama City, but not nearly enough to achieve her ambitious dreams of breaking into Japan's competitive entertainment industry. Behind the carefully curated online persona lay a young woman grappling with the same challenges faced by many aspiring influencers. She juggled content creation with personal aspirations, often working late into the night to perfect her videos and engage with her audience. Friends described her as fiercely independent, sometimes to a fault, determined to build her career without relying on family support. This independence, while admirable, left her vulnerable to the darker aspects of online fame. Her ambition knew no bounds. Ayer dreamed of hosting her own television show, launching a fashion line, and becoming a voice for her generation. She spent hours researching successful content creators, analyzing their strategies, and adapting them to her authentic style. Yet, despite her outward confidence, those closest to her noticed moments of doubt and anxiety about maintaining her upward trajectory in an increasingly saturated market. Little did she know that her desire to connect with her audience and grow her platform would lead her down a path that intersected with one of her most devoted and ultimately dangerous followers. The dangerous admirer Kenichi Takano, a 42-year-old resident of Oyama Tochi Prefecture, appeared unremarkable at first glance, the kind of person who blends seamlessly into the background of everyday life. His social media profiles revealed little: sporadic posts about mundane activities, generic landscape photographs, and occasional comments on various influencer pages. To casual observers, he seemed like any other middle-aged man navigating the digital landscape. However, beneath this veneer of normalcy lay a complex web of resentment and obsession that would ultimately culminate in tragedy. Kenichi's online presence told a story of isolation and longing. His friends described him as socially awkward, someone who struggled to form meaningful connections in the physical world. This void in his personal life drove him increasingly toward online communities, where he could interact with others from the safety of his screen. It was in these digital spaces that he discovered the world of live streamers, captivated by the immediate and intimate connections they forged with their audiences. Among these content creators, Irisato stood out to him as a beacon of light in his otherwise dreary existence. Their relationship began innocuously enough. Kenichi started as just another viewer, leaving supportive comments and sending small virtual gifts during Ire's streams. His messages were polite, even charming, expressing appreciation for her positive energy and motivational content. As weeks turned into months, however, his behavior began to shift. The frequency of his comments increased dramatically, evolving from general praise to more personal observations about her life and appearance. He started referencing private details from her past streams, demonstrating an alarming level of attentiveness that bordered on obsession. Financial records uncovered during the investigation painted a disturbing picture of Kenichi's growing fixation. What began as modest donations, 1,000 yen here, 2,000 yen there, escalated into substantial transfers. Between August 2024 and February 2025, he sent Ire a total of 2 million yen, approximately $13,500, through various online platforms. These transactions were accompanied by increasingly possessive messages, with Kenichi referring to himself as her most loyal supporter, and implying that he deserved special consideration for his financial contributions. His online interactions took on a more concerning tone as his financial investments grew. In private messages to Ire, he began expressing disappointment when she didn't acknowledge his gifts immediately or failed to respond to his comments during streams. He started demanding more attention, accusing other viewers of being fake fans who didn't truly appreciate her work. Detectives reviewing his chat history noted a pattern of jealousy and entitlement emerging in his communications, with frequent references to their special connection and veiled threats about withdrawing his support if she didn't reciprocate his perceived devotion. Perhaps most troubling was Kenichi's gradual blurring of boundaries between his online persona and his real-life identity. He began incorporating details from his personal life into his interactions with Irie, sharing intimate stories about his struggles and loneliness. When she responded with polite encouragement, as she did with many viewers, he interpreted these exchanges as signs of a deeper bond. Multiple warning signs emerged in his behavior, obsessively tracking her streaming schedule, becoming agitated when she missed a broadcast, and showing up at locations she mentioned visiting in previous streams. Friends and colleagues noted changes in Kenichi's demeanor as his obsession deepened. He became increasingly withdrawn from real-world responsibilities, prioritizing his online interactions with Ire above all else. His work performance suffered, and he canceled social engagements to ensure he could participate in her streams. Yet, despite these red flags, nothing in his background suggested he might become violent. No criminal record, no history of aggressive behavior. Just a lonely man whose admiration had spiraled dangerously out of control, setting the stage for the tragic events that would unfold on that fateful March morning. Please, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more amazing content like this. And I'd absolutely love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think, or if there's a true crime story specific you'd like me to cover next. Your support means the world to me, and together, we'll create something truly special. The breaking point. As winter gave way to spring, Kenichi's carefully constructed fantasy began to unravel, revealing the volatile emotions simmering beneath his composed exterior. The turning point came in early February 2025, when Ire Sato announced her plans to reduce her streaming schedule to focus on a potential collaboration with a major fashion brand. For Kenichi, this development triggered a cascade of insecurities and resentments that had been building for months. His meticulous records showed that he'd transferred the final installment of his savings, 500,000 yen, just days before her announcement, believing this substantial contribution would secure his position as her most important supporter. The subsequent weeks saw a dramatic shift in Kenichi's behavior. His once polite messages became increasingly demanding, filled with accusations that Iri was abandoning her true fans for corporate interests. When she failed to respond to his escalating demands for repayment, his frustration boiled over into open hostility. Investigators later discovered draft messages where he calculated interest on his investment, threatening legal action if she didn't return the money within a month. These communications revealed a mind consumed by betrayal, viewing his financial contributions not as voluntary gifts, but as business transactions gone sour. By early March, Kenichi's mental state had deteriorated significantly. Financial records showed he'd taken out a loan against his modest apartment to cover living expenses, having depleted his savings on what he now considered wasted investments in Ire's career. His obsession manifested in sleepless nights spent poring over her past streams, searching for evidence of promises he believed she'd broken. The tipping point came on March 8th, when Ire streamed from a popular Tokyo cafe, mentioning she'd received sponsorship offers from several companies. Kenichi interpreted this as a personal affront, believing she was flaunting her success while ignoring his contributions. That evening, he booked a hotel room near her usual streaming locations, methodically planning his approach. Surveillance footage showed him purchasing a survival knife from a local outdoor store, explaining to the clerk that he needed it for camping, though his hiking gear had gathered dust for years. In the days leading up to the attack, Kenichi's online activity intensified. He scoured mapping applications, familiarizing himself with every street and alley near Junior Takanoba Station, where Ire frequently broadcast. His search history revealed obsessive research into live streaming technology, specifically how to triangulate a broadcaster's location using environmental cues visible in their video feed. Friends noted he'd suddenly become unusually calm, a stark contrast to his recent agitation, suggesting he'd made a definitive decision about how to resolve his perceived grievances. March 10th saw Kenichi making final preparations. He packed a change of clothes, cleaned his phone of incriminating messages, and drafted a series of goodbye notes to acquaintances. Most chillingly, he created a detailed timeline of Ire's upcoming broadcasts, noting optimal times and locations for confrontation. His written plans included multiple contingencies based on different response scenarios from both Ire and potential witnesses, demonstrating a frightening level of premeditation. The following morning, armed with his meticulously prepared strategy and deadly weapon, he positioned himself mere blocks from Ire's scheduled broadcast location, waiting for the moment to enact his twisted form of justice. The fateful morning, March 11th, dawned gray and chilly in Tokyo, but for Ire Sato's devoted followers, the promise of her morning walk live stream brought warmth to their screens. At precisely 9:23 a.m., she began broadcasting near Junior Takanoba Station, her cheerful voice filling the airwaves as she navigated the bustling streets of Takadano Baba. The camera captured snippets of everyday Tokyo life: salarymen rushing to work, shopkeepers raising their security shutters, and the rhythmic clatter of trains on nearby tracks. Irene's commentary flowed effortlessly, pointing out interesting architectural details and sharing her excitement about an upcoming collaboration with a local cafe. Unknown to her viewers, Kenichi Takano had already pinpointed her location using visual landmarks from her stream. His phone's GPS coordinates showed him circling the block, moving closer with each passing minute. The tension mounted as he approached from behind, his silhouette occasionally catching the edge of the camera frame. At 9:31 a.m., disaster struck without warning. The screen jolted violently as Kenichi lunged forward, his hand gripping a gleaming survival knife. Viewers watched in horror as the blade flashed toward Irene's neck, her startled scream cutting through the morning air. The next 87 seconds felt like an eternity. The camera, still rolling after falling from Irene's grasp, captured a chaotic tableau of blood-streaked pavement and panicked bystanders. Kenichi's attacks came in rapid succession, each strike documented in grim detail by the fallen device. The chat window exploded with frantic messages, some viewers screaming for help, others desperately trying to alert authorities through emergency services apps. One particularly observant viewer managed to capture a screenshot showing street signs visible in the background, providing crucial location information to responding officers. Bystanders' reactions varied wildly. A group of high school students froze in shock before one bravely attempted to intervene, only to retreat when Kenichi turned his attention momentarily toward them. At 8 a.m., exactly 87 seconds after the initial attack, police sirens pierced the air. Officers arrived to find Kenichi standing motionless over Irene's prone body, the bloodied knife still clutched in his hand. His expression remained eerily blank as he watched paramedics rush to Irene's side. Their desperate attempts at resuscitation broadcast live to thousands of horrified viewers. The entire incident had unfolded in broad daylight, witnessed not only by those physically present, but also by Irene's extensive online audience, creating a unique form of collective trauma that transcended geographical boundaries. Throughout this harrowing ordeal, Irene's phone continued streaming, capturing every heart-wrenching detail until officers finally secured the scene and terminated the broadcast at 9:36 a.m. The recording would later serve as crucial evidence, documenting not only the attack itself, but also Kenichi's calculated movements and the precise sequence of events that led to this devastating conclusion. The aftermath. The immediate aftermath of the attack revealed shocking details that underscored the brutality of Kenichi Takano's actions. Medical examiners determined that Irene Sato had sustained 37 separate stab wounds, primarily concentrated on her head, neck, and chest. The survival knife, measuring 13 centimeters in blade length, had penetrated vital areas with lethal precision, causing massive internal bleeding that proved impossible to control even with immediate medical intervention. Paramedics fought valiantly for 80 minutes at Tama Central Hospital, but the extent of her injuries was simply too severe. During his arrest, Kenichi maintained an unsettling composure, offering minimal resistance as officers subdued him. When questioned at the scene, he delivered a chilling statement: "I didn't mean to kill her." This declaration, repeated multiple times during initial questioning, contradicted the overwhelming evidence of premeditation. Forensic analysis of his belongings revealed detailed notes outlining his plan, including backup strategies and escape routes. More disturbingly, investigators discovered that he had saved screenshots of Irene's previous streams, annotating them with specific times and locations where she appeared most vulnerable. The crime scene investigation yielded crucial evidence that painted a comprehensive picture of the attack. Blood spatter patterns confirmed Kenichi's methodical approach, showing how he had systematically targeted Irene from multiple angles. The selfie stick found near her body provided additional context, its positioning indicating that she had been mid-broadcast when attacked. Officers recovered fragments of shattered phone screen embedded in the pavement, marking the exact spot where the fatal confrontation began. Public reaction to the case reflected deep societal concerns about the intersection of online and offline realities. Vigils held across Tokyo drew thousands of mourners, many carrying white flowers and holding candles shaped like smartphones, a poignant symbol of the medium through which Irene's life was tragically ended. Social media campaigns emerged, promoting awareness about healthy digital relationships and advocating for better protection mechanisms for content creators. Reflections and responsibility. The haunting echo of Sato's final broadcast continues to reverberate through both digital and physical spaces, serving as a powerful reminder of how perilously thin the veil between online interaction and real-world consequences can become. This tragedy forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our digital landscape, that the same platforms connecting us across vast distances can also enable dangerous obsessions to flourish unchecked. Kenichi Takano's descent from devoted viewer to convicted murderer wasn't marked by sudden, obvious warning signs, but rather by a gradual erosion of boundaries that went largely unnoticed until it was too late. The case exposes fundamental flaws in our current approach to online safety. Our existing frameworks for understanding relationships and assessing threats are woefully inadequate when applied to digital contexts. Traditional notions of proximity and danger fail to account for how virtual connections can manifest in physical spaces, often with devastating consequences. The illusion of control that social media platforms provide through blocking features and privacy settings proves insufficient against determined individuals who exploit every available digital breadcrumb to bridge the gap between online and offline worlds. Perhaps most disturbing is how easily obsession can masquerade as support within the ecosystem of content creation. The very mechanisms designed to foster community engagement, likes, comments, gifts, and financial contributions, can be perverted into tools of manipulation and control. The transactional nature of these interactions creates complex power dynamics that aren't immediately apparent, especially to young creators eager to build their audiences and sustain their careers. What appears to be genuine appreciation can transform into entitlement, with financial support serving as both carrot and stick in a dangerous dance of dependency. This case demands that we fundamentally rethink our relationship with digital platforms and the communities they host. It challenges us to develop more sophisticated methods of threat assessment that account for the unique characteristics of online interactions. We must cultivate greater awareness of how seemingly harmless connections can escalate into dangerous fixation. The story of Sato and Kenichi Takano isn't just a cautionary tale about online safety. It's a call to action for anyone participating in our increasingly interconnected world. It reminds us that behind every username, every avatar, every carefully curated profile lies a complex individual whose actions can have profound, real-world consequences. The challenge we face is learning to navigate this digital landscape with both openness and vigilance, embracing the opportunities it offers while remaining acutely aware of its potential dangers.